ऊपर वाले ने मेरा साथ दिया। क्यों? क्योंकि मैं सच्चा था, मैं सही था, इसलिए भगवान ने मेरा साथ दिया। इन लोगों ने मुझे जेल में डाल दिया। इन लोगों को लगा कि केजरीवाल को जेल में डाल देंगे तो केजरीवाल के हौसले टूट जाएंगे। आज मैं आपको कहना चाहता हूं, मैं जेल से बाहर आया हूं, मेरे हौसले 100 गुना ज्यादा बढ़ गए हैं। मेरी ताकत 100 गुना ज्यादा बढ़ गई है। इनकी जेल की मोटी मोटी दीवारें, इनकी जेल की सलाखें केजरीवाल के हौसले को कमजोर नहीं कर सकती। मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूं, जैसे आज तक ऊपर वाले ने मेरे को रास्ता दिखाया, ऊपर वाले ने मेरे को ताकत दी, ऐसे ही भगवान मुझे रास्ता दिखाता रहे, मैं देश की सेवा करता रहूं। और ये जितनी राष्ट्र विरोधी ताकतें हैं जो देश के विकास को रोक रही हैं, जो देश को बांटने का काम कर रही हैं, जो देश को अंदर से कमजोर करने का काम कर रही हैं, जिंदगी भर में इनके खिलाफ लड़ा हूं, आगे भी ऐसे ही लड़ता रहूंगा। भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
But all drama, self-serving political narrative is sought to be created, but people have realized him. Now his stand has changed. He has been exposed. His dual character has been exposed. If you remember, he was carrying a list of 25, 30 people before 2013 saying that these people are corrupt, I have evidence against them. Did he take any action? Now, were they convicted at that point of time? Were they convicted by any honorable court? No, but still he leveled allegations. Now today there are allegations against him, charge sheet against him, but there is sufficient material against him. Still he's saying I am innocent. So this is the character of the man, a completely liar, shifts his stand in terms of his own convenience. That's all. But people have realized it.
All right, Sumit Akpal, if I could bring you in, the fact that there are still conditions accompanying Arvind Kejriwal's bail, would that have any kind of bearing on election campaigning as well? We know that this is also going to be an impediment for his daily duties as the Chief Minister, but what about election campaigning, especially considering the fact that Haryana is very much on the agenda?
I would not like to comment on the politics of it, but I can certainly say that getting bail is not a proof that a person is innocent. So, obviously, any politician would like to take the political benefit out of the whole incident or the bail which he has got today. He would like to take the benefit. He will try to portray as if he has come victorious. But at the end of the day, bail is just a normal routine thing in a criminal trial. So he has got bail. I don't want to comment much on politics of it, but I can say for sure that politics will be played on.
But Amit Tiwari, they're saying that the Aam Aadmi Party has also successfully arrived as a third option for a voter in Haryana, which is also going to sort of dent the electoral prospects, not just for the Bharatiya Janata Party, but also for the Congress Party. I'd like your thoughts.
Do you recall about Gujarat election? In Gujarat election, similar pictures had arrived. Yes. He was saying, IB report has come, therefore BJP is scared. Thoda dhakka aur laga do, we are going to get judgment. We are going to get form the government. What happened eventually? Nothing. So these are false claims on false statement. Did he ever produce that IB judgment that yes, he is going to win the elections and therefore he requires some push? So these are false statements to mislead people, to create a narrative as if he is the tallest leader of the country and now he is going to. This we have seen, as I have said earlier, we have seen in 6-7 states. Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Goa, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana on the last occasion. Nothing happened. Did they form the government there? No. So these are false claims, nothing else.
We've seen how this alliance with the Congress Party has failed yet again. Examples are also being given of Delhi and Punjab. Do you think that this alliance is, what we've seen happen in the case of Haryana is yet another reminder of how this is a very weak alliance or just one that is only for tokenism?
Ma'am, this alliance is self-serving alliance. In 2011-12, Miss Sonia Gandhi was the most corrupt person. Mr. Sharad Pawar was the most corrupt person. Now they are in alliance. What does it show? People will understand. Secondly, the same alliance was brought in Delhi elections as well, in Lok Sabha 2024 elections, where they had seat sharing agreement. And what happened eventually? Eventually, they lost all the 7 elections. So people are today very smart. People are today very knowledgeable and they understand politics. And this man's character has been exposed in the eyes of the people. So therefore, we are not worried about any Haryana election.
But Amit Tiwari, you look at the visuals right now, the kind of support that he's garnering, not just from his own party cadre, which is of course expected out of what's happening today, but we've seen several Aam Aadmi Party supporters also who have gathered in full force over there to welcome Arvind Kejriwal. That too, when it's raining so heavily, goes on to indicate his own popularity in Delhi, and perhaps it may just translate in Haryana.
Ma'am, you are having a government for last 10 years in Delhi. Obviously, you have some kind of cadre. If you remember when his personal secretary was arrested, do you remember 2011 visuals? When general public participated in the protest led by Mr. Anna Hazare. But now when Mr. Vibhav Kumar was arrested, what happened? They marched, all their cabinet ministers marched, not even a single person from general public came. All this drama that you are seeing on the screen is nothing but a created drama. All this is planned. People are called, their own workers, their own MLAs, supporters of MLAs who are all Aam Aadmi Party. They are called to show, to reflect some kind of strength. This is not general public. These are their own karyakartas celebrating the release of a alleged corrupt man.
Sumit Nagpal Act was based on the foundation of fighting corruption. We've seen that happen during the Anna Hazare movement. In fact, stood against the Congress party back then, is now was in fact trying to work out an alliance with them. How is this going to go down? Even though today Arvind Kejriwal is out on bail, we've debated that the merits of that bail versus the merits of the entire case. But will that have any kind of bearing on a voter in Haryana?
See, I can tell you one thing. I was, as a citizen of India, and as someone who wanted transparency and who wanted that action should be taken against the corrupt, I too took part in Anda Andolan. But I can tell you, I was shocked when I heard Arvind Kejriwal saying कि हम कांग्रेस पार्टी को समझा समझा के थक गए हैं कि हमसे अलायंस कर लो, लेकिन वो मानते नहीं. So I can tell you that people are very much aware that how Mr. Arvind Kejriwal took benefit of Anna Andolan, how he shaped this politics to reach to the pinnacle of power. But when he reached to the pinnacle of power, he came and he started having alliances with everyone he was opposed to. So people do not forget these things, and I hope that when people of Haryana go to vote, they should remember the lines when he used to say, हम बीवी बच्चों बच्चों की कसम खा के कहता हूँ कि मैं किसी से अलायंस नहीं करूंगा. And then again we remember the lines कि मैं समझा समझा के थक गया हूँ कांग्रेस को कि इन्होंने जो है हमारे साथ अलायंस नहीं किया या मानते नहीं है, something like that. I don't remember the exact line. So people of India are smart enough to understand how somebody has rose to power, how somebody has shaped his politics, and how the entire politics of Aam Aadmi Party has changed over the years. So, as a concerned citizen of Delhi, I am very much aware how this entire, I would say, this particular fact that how Arvind Kejriwal rose to power, how he changed. So, as a citizen of Delhi, I cannot forget these things, and I hope people of Haryana remember those things when they go to vote. And I don't think in Haryana Mr. Kejriwal will have much of a chance. So we'll have to see how the things will work.
Stay with us, Mr. Nagpal. I'll have to quickly go over to our correspondent Yash Goyal, who's currently stationed outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. Yash, tell us what's happening over there right now. The Chief Minister is out of Tihar jail, should reach the residence in some time from now, given or taken into account the kind of traffic snarls he will be encountering, considering it's pouring quite a bit. But give us a sense of what's happening at the Chief Minister's residence.
Well, Akanksha, let's directly go to the visuals here and show you the pictures outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Since he spoke outside Tihar, I can tell you one thing, the morale of the cadre over here has actually boosted a lot. You can see Aam Aadmi Party karyakartas dancing, you can see nagaras playing at the highest possible decibel, and the karyakartas over here are very much elated and they want to take a glimpse of their leader, because they say the words which Arvind Kejriwal has actually resonated, has said is resonating with them. In fact, I have a few karyakartas with me. कैसा माहौल है, क्या जोश है? आप केजरीवाल बाहर ही आ चुके हैं
भाई साहब. इस टाइम तो दिवाली का माहौल लग रहा है, पूरी रात के अंदर जश्न मनाया जा रहा है. आज जो देश के अंदर जो गलत राजनीति चल रही थी, ईडी और सीबीआई का दुरुपयोग किया जा रहा था, उसको खत्म करके आज माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो आज केजरीवाल जी को जमानत दी है, वो एक तमाशा है कि भ्रष्टाचार जो घूम रहे हैं बाहर और जो काम कर रहे हैं शिक्षा को लेकर, स्वास्थ्य को लेकर काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसे देश के लाल को उन्होंने जेल में रखा 180 दिन. तो इनका पाप बाहर आएगा. केजरीवाल जी बाहर आ गए हैं. आज तो जश्न का माहौल है. आज पूरी दिल्ली की जनता जश्न मना रही है, तो आज माहौल बनाने दीजिए. आज अब इनका काल चालू हो गया है. भाजपा का जाना तय है अब यहाँ से.
Well, so Akanksha, this is the word coming in. And I can tell you that from here, Arvind Kejriwal will take around 1.5 hours to reach this locality. And once he reaches here, there is a place nearby from here where he's going to start a roadshow, and till his residence, he's going to carry out that very roadshow, because thousands of his supporters have actually gathered here, and also there are many supporters at Tihar who will be actually following Arvind Kejriwal to his residence. all of them say it's a very big day for them.
Right.
And not to discount the fact that he's coming out of the jail at a time when Haryana and Delhi elections are just upon us.
All right, I'm going to quickly bring in Amit Tiwari, who's a spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, is back on the broadcast with us. Amit Tiwari, many would want to, or rather wondering if the bail to Arvind Kejriwal can actually change the political prospects for the Aam Aadmi Party in Haryana, going by their performance in the last assembly election, which actually was a zero.
No, ma'am, nothing is going to change. As I have said earlier, in Delhi also, the moment he got bail, the same averments were made, the same arguments were raised that now he is going to turn around the election and all 7 seats will be won by the alliance. What happened? They lost all 7 seats. So keeping in view his conduct, keeping in view the kind of character that has been exposed before the general public, Haryana people will never choose such kind of people, and therefore it is not going to have any impact on Haryana election, rest assured. Forget about Delhi also. Let me tell you, even in Delhi, that 5 to 10%, 15% voters who are always try to bring something new, who supported him in way back in 2015-20, now they have also realized that this man is nothing but a liar. This man is nothing but a corrupt man. This man is nothing whose character has been exposed. So therefore, they are not going to support him. So we are not worried
But
about
Amit
his
Tiwari,
having any
yes,
kind of impact
fair
in Haryana
enough.
or Delhi.
Even if you're not worried about his release, for how long can the BJP win basis on the attacks that they are making against the Congress party or the Aam Aadmi Party? Because remember, over 20 leaders have quit the BJP in Haryana itself. Karan Dev Kamboj, who's a stalwart of an OBC leader in Haryana today, has left and joined the Congress party. The Congress party saying that in Haryana you've lost the narrative when it comes to the OBCs as well. How do you plan to, in fact, tackle that kind of attack that's coming in not just from the Aam Aadmi Party but even the Congress party?
Ma'am, first of all, I am a Delhi BJP spokesperson, not a national spokesperson, so I can't comment on other states. But certainly, yes, as a spokesperson, let me tell you, you pick up any election, whether it is legislative assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections, you pick up any party, whether it is Congress, whether it is Bharatiya Janata Party, whenever tickets are being distributed, obviously some people feel aggrieved and they shift stands. That is a usual political events that happen across the country, across all political parties. Will you see now in Delhi also many of the former MLAs or members of Aam Aadmi Party have joined BJP. We have welcomed them. So this is a usual event that takes place, especially during the just before the elections. So let's not build any kind of narrative. Let's not conclude or draw any kind of inference merely because some people have left. BJP is a vast party, and therefore it will not have any left the party.
All right. Many thanks to you, Amit Tiwari and Sumit Chandra, for joining in on Plain Speak. Remember, the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, finally stepping out of Tihar jail. He's gone on to talk about his hardships, his struggles, and he says that he will continue to fight the good fight. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned to Plain Speak.
The Delhi Chief Minister has been granted bail by the Supreme Court, a historic decision by the Supreme Court as we speak, also setting the tone for politics as it will play out in both Delhi and Haryana. They've delivered their verdict.
And categorically, it's a big order coming in, that too much in favor of the Delhi Chief Minister. CBI being castigated, being called again a caged parrot, and the Justice Bhuyan completely going out to say that the CBI should act above board and not act as a caged parrot. So very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time, Arvind Kejriwal would be released on bail, and they would be now furnishing a bail bond of rupees 10 lakh. However, certain conditions have been imposed on the Delhi Chief Minister with regards to how he would operate once he is out. He cannot comment on this case, and very clearly at this point of time, this is a big win coming in for both the Delhi Chief Minister and in fact the Aam Aadmi Party as well.
You're watching continuing coverage of the big relief coming in for the Chief Minister. Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party speaking. Listen in.
मुख्यमंत्री के ऊपर ये कंडीशंस लगाई गई हैं कि वो सचिवालय नहीं जा सकते, फाइलें साइन नहीं कर सकते, मेरी समझ के बाहर है। मगर क्योंकि दूसरी बेंच ने ये कंडीशंस लगाई हैं, इसलिए इसके ऊपर हम ज़्यादा टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहते हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आज का ये जो फैसला है, मुझे लगता है कि केंद्र सरकार के अंदर आज अगर थोड़ी सी भी गैरत हो तो केंद्र सरकार के गृह मंत्री को इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए। गृह मंत्रालय के अधीन सीबीआई आती है। कोर्ट ने साफ तौर पे कह दिया कि देश की प्रीमियर एजेंसी बदले की भावना से, कपट छल से काम कर रही है। मुझे लगता है गृह मंत्री को एक दिन भी अपनी सीट पे रहने का हक खत्म हो गया।
किस तरीके से स्वागत करेंगे? तो शर्तें रखी गई हैं, उन रेस्ट्रिक्शंस को खत्म करने के लिए भी आप लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे।
बाकी अभी मैं अंदर
स्वागत कैसे करेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे?
अभी मनीष जी के घर जा रहा हूँ। मनीष जी जो है,
मतलब सवाल उनके मुख्यमंत्री दफ्तर अटेंड करने को लेकर उठाए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय संयोजक के रूप में उनकी भूमिका का नकारा नहीं।
नेचुरल सी बात है, क्योंकि देखिए वैसे भी मैं तो बार बार यही बात कहता रहा हूँ कि एक काल्पनिक सार्वजनिक शराब घोटाले को बना करके आपने हमारे सारे नेताओं को अंदर रखा, चाहे मनीष जी हों, संजय जी हों, अरविंद जी हों। आखिरकार सर्वोच्च न्यायालय से न्याय मिली, हमारे नेता सारे बाहर आए और भाजपा के सारे अरमान अब धूमिल हो जाएंगे।
जिनको गिरफ्तार करने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने हजारों तरह की कुचक्र रचे, हजारों तरह की साजिशें रची। एक कट्टर ईमानदार आदमी को, काम करने वाले आदमी को, जनता के दर्द की, जनता की जिंदगी को संवारने के लिए जो काम कर रहा था, उनको उठा के जेल में डाला। इससे बड़ा पाप लोकतंत्र के इतिहास में नहीं हुआ। आज ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट को हम नमन करते हैं, उनको सलाम करते हैं, उनका धन्यवाद करते हैं। हम इस देश के संविधान का धन्यवाद करते हैं, बाबा साहब का धन्यवाद करते हैं, जिनके बदौलत आज सच्चाई की जीत हुई है। और ये खाली सच्चाई की जीत की बात नहीं है, झूठ भी एक्सपोज हुआ है। जिस तरह से आज ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ऑब्जर्वेशन दी गई, कहा गया कि केजरीवाल जी को ईडी की रिहाई से रोकने के लिए सीबीआई का पूरा गिरफ्तारी का मामला रचा गया। हम बार बार कह रहे थे, सिंघवी साहब ने, हमारे जो सीनियर एडवोकेट थे, उन्होंने ऑनरेबल कोर्ट के सामने बार बार ये शब्द दोहराया कि ये इंश्योरेंस अरेस्ट था, ये किसी गलत काम के लिए अरेस्ट नहीं किया गया था, कोई करप्शन के लिए अरेस्ट नहीं किया गया था। भारतीय जनता पार्टी चुनाव में नहीं जीत पाती, पार्टी को नहीं तोड़ पाती, तो एक इंश्योरेंस अरेस्ट किया गया कि इस आदमी को जेल में डाल दो तो इनकी पार्टी टूट जाएगी, इनकी सरकारें ध्वस्त हो जाएंगी। लेकिन मैं बाबा साहब को और संविधान को याद करते हुए, धन्यवाद करते हुए, ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट को धन्यवाद करते हुए, सिंघवी साहब का धन्यवाद करते हुए, आम आदमी पार्टी के एक एक कार्यकर्ता, एक एक लीडर, पार्षद, एमएलए, एमपी, सबको भी बधाई देना चाहता हूं, धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि ऐसे संकट के समय में जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपनी पूरी ताकत के साथ, अपने पूरे कुचक्करों के साथ उनको कुचलने की कोशिश कर रही थी, वो टूटे नहीं, हटे नहीं, झुके नहीं, सच्चाई के साथ लड़े रहे। सच्चाई की जीत हुई है, हम बहुत खुश हैं। आने वाले समय में इससे और सच्चाई के लिए लड़ने वालों को ताकत मिलेगी। बात सिर्फ केजरीवाल जी की नहीं है, जो भी आदमी सच्चाई के लिए लड़ रहा है उसको ताकत मिलेगी। ये हमारे सबके लिए बहुत भावुक पल है। हमारे बड़े भाई, हमारे मित्र, हमारे गुरु केजरीवाल जी, जिनको इस तरह से अंदर डाला गया जेल में, सबके लिए बहुत दुखद क्षण था। एक एक कार्यकर्ता के लिए बहुत दुखद क्षण था। लोग रोए हैं उनके लिए, इस बात के लिए लोग रोए हैं। लोगों ने प्रार्थनाएं की हैं, लोगों ने दुआएं की हैं, उनकी आज दुआएं।
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
The Delhi Chief Minister has been granted bail by the Supreme Court. Historic decision by the for politics as it will play out in both Delhi in Haryana. They've delivered their verdict.
And categorically, it's a big order coming in, that too much in favor of the Delhi Chief Minister. CBI being castigated, being called again a caged parrot, and the Justice Bhuyan completely going out to say that the CBI should act above board and not act as a caged parrot. So very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time, Arvind Kejriwal would be released on bail, and they would be now furnishing a bail bond of rupees 10 lakh. However, certain conditions have been imposed on the Delhi Chief Minister with regards to how he would operate once he is out. He cannot comment on this case, and very clearly at this point of time, this is a big win coming in for both the Delhi Chief Minister and in fact the Aam Aadmi Party as well.
You're watching continuing coverage of the big relief coming in for the Chief Minister. Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party speaking. Listen in.
मुख्यमंत्री के ऊपर ये कंडीशंस लगाई गई हैं कि वो सचिवालय नहीं जा सकते, फाइलें साइन नहीं कर सकते, मेरी समझ के बाहर है। मगर क्योंकि दूसरी बेंच ने ये कंडीशंस लगाई हैं, इसलिए इसके ऊपर हम ज्यादा टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहते हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आज का ये जो फैसला है, मुझे लगता है कि केंद्र सरकार के अंदर आज अगर थोड़ी सी भी गैरत हो तो केंद्र सरकार के गृह मंत्री को इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए। गृह मंत्रालय के अधीन सीबीआई आती है। कोर्ट ने साफ तौर पे कह दिया कि देश की प्रीमियर एजेंसी बदले की भावना से, कपट छल से काम कर रही है। मुझे लगता है गृह मंत्री को एक दिन भी अपनी सीट पे रहने का हक खत्म हो गया। किस तरीके स्वागत करेंगे? तो शर्तें रखी गई हैं, उन रेस्ट्रिक्शंस को खत्म करने के लिए भी आप लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे। बाकी अभी मैं अंदर स्वागत कैसे करेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे? प्रधानमंत्री के लिए क्या कहेंगे? अभी मनीष जी के घर जा रहा हूँ। मनीष जी जो है,
मतलब सवाल उनके मुख्यमंत्री दफ्तर अटेंड करने को लेकर उठाए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय संयोजक के रूप में उनकी भूमिका का नकार है।
नेचुरल सी बात है, क्योंकि देखिए वैसे भी मैं तो बार बार यही बात कहता रहा हूं कि एक काल्पनिक सार्वजनिक शराब घोटाले को बना करके आपने हमारे सारे नेताओं को अंदर रखा, चाहे मनीष जी हों, संजय जी हों, अरविंद जी हों। आखिरकार सर्वोच्च न्यायालय से न्याय मिली, हमारे नेता सारे बाहर आए और भाजपा के सारे अरमान अब धूमिल हो जाएंगे।
जिनको गिरफ्तार करने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने हजारों तरह की कुचक्र रचे, हजारों तरह की साजिशें रची। एक कट्टर ईमानदार आदमी को, काम करने वाले आदमी को, जनता के दर्द की जिंदगी को संवारने के लिए जो काम कर रहा था, उनको उठा के जेल में डाला। इससे बड़ा पाप लोकतंत्र के इतिहास में नहीं हुआ। आज ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट को हम नमन करते हैं, उनको सलाम करते हैं, उनका धन्यवाद करते हैं। हम इस देश के संविधान का धन्यवाद करते हैं, बाबा साहब का धन्यवाद करते हैं, जिनके बदौलत आज सच्चाई की जीत हुई है। और ये खाली सच्चाई की जीत की बात नहीं है, झूठ भी एक्सपोज हुआ है। जिस तरह से आज ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ऑब्जर्वेशन दी गई, कहा गया कि केजरीवाल जी को ईडी की रिहाई से रोकने के लिए सीबीआई का पूरा गिरफ्तारी का मामला रचा गया। हम बार बार कह रहे थे, सिंघवी साहब ने, हमारे जो सीनियर एडवोकेट थे, उन्होंने ऑनरेबल कोर्ट के सामने बार बार ये शब्द दोहराया कि ये इंश्योरेंस अरेस्ट था, ये किसी गलत काम के लिए अरेस्ट नहीं किया गया था, कोई करप्शन के लिए अरेस्ट नहीं किया गया था। भारतीय जनता पार्टी चुनाव में नहीं जीत पाती, पार्टी को नहीं तोड़ पाती, तो एक इंश्योरेंस अरेस्ट किया गया कि इस आदमी को जेल में डाल दो तो इनकी पार्टी टूट जाएगी, इनकी सरकारें ध्वस्त हो जाएंगी। लेकिन मैं बाबा साहब को और संविधान को याद करते हुए, धन्यवाद करते हुए, ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट को धन्यवाद करते हुए, सिंघवी साहब का धन्यवाद करते हुए, आम आदमी पार्टी के एक एक कार्यकर्ता, एक एक लीडर, पार्षद, एमएलए, एमपी, सबको भी बधाई देना चाहता हूँ, धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि ऐसे संकट के समय में जब भारतीय जनता पार्टी
Viewers, they were holding their breath. But luckily, Kejriwal's inner circle, his wife, the ever dependable comrade in arms, Manish Sisodia, and Mantri extraordinaire, Atishi, didn't have to wait too long. Within a few minutes of the court assembling the two-judge bench awarded bail to the Delhi Chief Minister. The Supreme Court, as I told you, viewers, had been hearing this matter for some time now. Kejriwal's petition, in fact, seeking this relief, bail to be specific. And now, ahead of the Haryana elections, he has walked out of jail, and we have just seen those pictures of him coming out of Tihar jail. Because Kejriwal was arrested by the CBI in June, and the CBI arrest was timed to the court granting Kejriwal bail in the ED case. As high fives rang out, the judges gave the embattled party even more to cheer. It slammed the CBI for the timing of the arrest and for carrying out the action only to frustrate the bail granted by a lower court in connection with a parallel enforcement directorate case. The only saving grace, viewers, for the CBI was that its arrest was not deemed illegal. They said that yes, the CBI did follow procedure, though the timing was suspect. In a nod to the UPA era, the phrase, quote, caged parrot, unquote, was also bandied about by the Supreme Court justices. The Supreme Court noting that CBI must dispel the notion of being a caged parrot and must show it is an uncaged parrot. Mixing metaphors, the Supreme Court also counseled that the CBI shouldn't be like Caesar's wife, above suspicion. Let me quote you exactly what the Supreme Court said, viewers. It said, perception also matters, since CBI must dispel the notion of being a caged parrot and must show it is an uncaged parrot. CBI should be like Caesar's wife, above suspicion, unquote. It went on to say, CBI did not feel the need to arrest him, that is Mr. Kejriwal, even though he was interrogated in March 2023. It was only after his ED arrest was stayed that the CBI became active and sought custody of Mr. Kejriwal, unquote. It went on to say, the CBI felt no need of arrest for over 22 months. Such action by the CBI raises serious questions on the timing of the arrest, and such an arrest by CBI was only to frustrate the bail granted in the ED case, unquote. But even as the Supreme Court was staring into the CBI, it decided to suddenly turn its attention to Chief Minister Kejriwal. The Supreme Court began by stalling any attempt by the AAP to set the public narrative in its favor by denying the Chief Minister the right to speak about the case. So if you heard today when he came out of jail, and you can see him in his blue shirt, he said, look, I don't want to talk about the case too much, but in life, God has always helped me out when I've been in trouble because I am always honest and I follow the just path. He hasn't gone into the merits of the case. His party, however, of course, has been suggesting that the truth is one, that his bail is an indication that he is innocent. But the Supreme Court perhaps preempted this views. Then went beyond. It ordered Kejriwal not to visit his office or the Delhi Secretariat and to not even sign any official file unless absolutely necessary to obtain the Lieutenant Governor's sanction. In other words, the Supreme Court granted Kejriwal liberty but denied him his office, underlining that he is still a suspect and that bail isn't a clean chit. In fact, it is possible that the Supreme Court was perhaps guided by what other courts have said about the charges against Kejriwal. Let me run you through what Mr. Kejriwal has been accused of, or when the courts didn't exactly believe that there was no case against Mr. Kejriwal. So, at one point, the court said appellant's arrest by CBI was permissible in the light of the trial court's order dated June 25th, 2024. It went on to say, do not find any merit in appellant's contention that CBI failed to comply with set procedures, which has been upheld today by the Supreme Court, by the way, viewers. The appellant's arrest does not suffer from procedural infirmity, plea on non-compliance merits rejection. And there have been other instances in the past when the Supreme Court itself and the High Court itself perused the material brought before it by the agencies to say that, look, there is a case against Mr. Kejriwal and we cannot dismiss the case out of hand. Now, viewers, a chief minister at large is for all practical purposes administratively lame duck. If he isn't trusted by the court to conduct himself with a measure of propriety and integrity when in office, why should the taxpayer believe he can be trusted to serve them? Think about it, viewers. Mr. Kejriwal is out. He, in any case, never really held any cabinet portfolio, so to speak. But there are decisions that need to be taken on which his signature is needed. Now, he doesn't even have to attend office because he's barred from doing so. He can't enter the secretariat. You could always argue that files can be brought to his house and he can sort of peruse them, this, that, the other. But beyond that, he really can't do very much. The file will go again to the LG. And remember, viewers, at one time, the Chief Minister didn't really deem it even necessary to sign on those files. And the LG had to remind him that in half a dozen or more cases, or perhaps even more cases, he hadn't signed on certain governmental orders. And he was required to do so. The LG thought it quite strange. Now, viewers, he will sit at home. He will perhaps go out there and campaign in Haryana, which he can do. He'd probably pay the martyr. The BJP will hope that Kejriwal will undercut the Congress vote in Haryana. One doesn't quite know whether that will happen or not. But viewers, he gets to travel free. He gets to get his salary. He gets to live in a palace that he calls his home. He will have liveried staff looking after him. He will get all the perks, viewers, all the perks. Free bijli, pani, travel, this, that, the other, fuel. But who's going to carry the can, viewers, for him not doing very much? It's all of us, the taxpayer. We are going to carry the can for this. Which prompts us to ask, shouldn't the Chief Minister just step aside? Let someone else do the job. Once he's acquitted and so forth, he can always come back. Precedent exists of this. Let's open this up, viewers. Let's not keep you from the debaters. But that's Mr. Kejriwal there, right in the middle of your screens. Let me remind you, he was freed about 45 minutes back. He came out of jail, Victor's lap. He's waving his hands. He's delighted. He thinks this is a great exoneration. Is it really? As I said, let's open this up, viewers. Let's go straight across to our guests. Let's ask some pointed questions. Let me begin. Can we have our guests? That's right. There we are. Wise minds tonight. People who know what they're going to be saying. So viewers, you should all pay attention. And I'm going to play the perfect moderator. Not going to take any sides. I've said what I had to say. Dr. Ranganathan and Dr. Raman. Let me begin with you, Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, is this an exoneration? Can the AAP now go around claiming that, look, yes, we've really sort of won this matter and Modi is, vindictive and so forth? Or should we hold our horses on that account? Yes, the CBI has got a bit of a rap. It's obviously acted like a caged parrot or worse. I don't know why the Supreme Court doesn't have a vocabulary beyond the parrot. 15 years have passed. They could have come up with better words. I know a few. But nonetheless, Dr. Raman, what do you make of this?
Rahul, I don't think this is any more an exoneration of Mr. Kejriwal than the fact that he was denied bail being proof of his guilt. All along what was said, you kept saying, no, court has not given bail. Therefore, there must be something. They must have found prima facie evidence. All of this was said all along. Now that they have given bail, neither was that correct nor is this correct. He has not been given bail for a variety of reasons. Now he has been given bail. Neither of them makes him either guilty or innocent, and he remains innocent until proven guilty, because that is the law of the land, period. Now, the point really is we have to go into slightly more detail about the rap, quote unquote, the slight rap for the CBI that you have mentioned. It is not a slight rap. Now, clearly, it is not going to have any impact on the present CBI, and everybody knows that for reasons which are well known, it's hardly going to make an iota of difference. They are going to continue in their good old ways. The point is really that Mr. Kejriwal should have been out long ago. Everyone knows that. In fact, the judgment itself sort of alludes to that. You wanted to keep him in prison deliberately, and that is why on the day before his bail in the ED case comes, the CBI jumps in. The CBI did not want him for all the period prior to that. So come on, Rahul, there's got to be some logic in all these actions. And it is crystal clear from the rap that the court has given that the CBI has been asked some very difficult questions. It's not going to make a difference to them. That's a separate issue. But at least the court has been willing to place it on record that the actions of the CBI have not been above board. Now, that is the bottom line. Mr. Kejriwal remains innocent until he is convicted by a court of law. That is the law of the land. And again, I reiterate, all those who kept saying that he was guilty because the court did, or alluded saying that he must be guilty because the court has not given him bail. Now,
but Dr. Raman, to be honest, this principle you didn't apply.
No,
1 second. To Mr. Modi in 2019, I remember having debates with you when we were, on another channel, and on the Rafale matter and all of that. You said, I've been reading the Hindu dedicatedly.
Not at all.
And look at what the Hindu is saying, and used to hold up the paper and used to say, this Hindu has got it all right. Kick this person out.
Anybody can say, no, not at all.
You said it, I remember.
There needs to be an inquiry. That's all I said. There needs to be an inquiry.
I remember you saying that Chaukidar Chor hai, the slogan is applicable and it will have a damaging impact, sir.
No, I have never ever said somebody is guilty on the basis of allegations. All I have consistently said is you need to have an impartial inquiry to find out if somebody is guilty or innocent.
Right.
And I maintain that is my position, whether it is Rafale, whether it is Pegasus, whether it is Adani.
Now, I think, viewers, we are missing the nub of this issue. Look, I mean, yes, we cannot sideline the fact that the CBI has got a right royal ticking off. No doubt about it. It's always been caged. We probably know this, viewers. I don't think anyone's being fooled. But what I can't understand, Dr. Raman, is that the Supreme Court doesn't trust a chief minister from attending his office. Clearly,
not at all, Rahul.
Clearly,
it is common sense. Common sense.
What is common
sense? What has he been accused of? He has been accused in the Delhi liquor policy case. Are we agreed on that?
Yeah. I mean,
where are the documents about the Delhi liquor policy case? They are likely to be with the CBI, with the ED. There could still be some evidence which could be.
There can't be any more evidence. I'll tell you that office has been raided so many times.
Then you have to tell them.
Unless they're going now the CBI out of a sense of real.
Logically, they don't want.
Dr. Raman, we've even got
evidence could potentially be tampered.
There is no evidence left there. My point is, viewers, the Supreme Court doesn't trust the Chief Minister. They're saying you cannot go to your office, you can't go to your secretary, don't even begin to sign a file. Now, Dr. Ranganathan, I think, that kind of puts this entire matter in a very different perspective. And I don't know why you and I, citizens of, the lovely city, Delhi, have to now sort of shell out, our rupees. God knows how much all this legal, hiring of all these top great lawyers, etc., has cost the exchequer and me, actually, and you. Now we have to also, gardening leave he's got in a matter of speaking.
Good evening, Rahul, on this wonderful historic day where Mr. Kejriwal, the savior of Delhi, as Miss Sanjay Verma, can you please hold on to that laughter yet? No, look. I think when the Supreme Court said, Mr. Kejriwal, we are giving you bail, but you dare not go to your office, you dare not visit the secretariat, you dare not sign any file. Mr. Kejriwal must have said, my lord, that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So what's new? No, look, the fact of the matter is, as you said it, let me kind of disentangle the two issues. The first one is, of course, the independence of the CBI. The second one is the bail to Mr. Kejriwal and the strictures that have been put, directives have been put by the Supreme Court. Let me handle the second one first. You are absolutely right. If a sitting chief minister who's been in jail, who's come out of jail, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. And it is another matter that, as Dr. Sumant Raman said, I have never presumed anyone guilty without investigation. If there is one person who presumed everyone guilty without investigation, it was Mr. Kejriwal. The irony just died there. But the fact of the matter is, how can he be a chief minister of one of the biggest cities of the world, which has 31 million population? How can he be governing this city when he cannot sign a file, when he cannot visit an office? There and then his counsel, I don't know who his counsel is, would have said, under such circumstances, my client can no longer be or act as the chief minister. That is what propriety would have suggested. And this is not the government or Modi saying you cannot sign any file, you cannot visit your office. If it's the Supreme Court saying it, your morality and ethics should dictate the fact that you should resign as a chief minister. That's the least one can do. So that's point number one. Point number two about the independence of CBI. Well, I've said this before and I hold absolutely true to it. The CBI is not independent. And I can hear Ms. Sanju Verma already kind of, talking about the quote unquote phrase monkey balancing when it comes to it. Be that as it may, I'm prepared to withstand her onslaught. But I have to say this, that all that has happened is that the shoulder has changed. The shoulder right now is of Narendra Modi. The parrot is exactly the same. And it was the BJP and the late Mr. Arun Jaitley who vowed. In fact, he gave a momentous speech in the Rajya Sabha talking about how the CBI needs to change 7 points he gave, which would give independence to the CBI. But the moment BJP came to power, nothing changed. So yes, the CBI is a caged parrot. There is no doubt about it. The third important point that I'd like to say, the Supreme Court goes on and on about how the bail should be a rule and jail should be an exception. If you remember, 3 years ago, the ED so-called draconian acts where the bail has to be in the rarest of rare cases, it was ratified by the same Supreme Court 3-judge bench. So all the 3 points point to the fact that, of course, something improper has happened and it continues to happen until Mr. Kejriwal remains as the chief minister who can no longer sign a file, who can no longer go to office.
Well, I mean, the SC, of course, and its flip-flops views. I remember there was this massive press conference. 4 of these justices came out. And on this manicured lawn, they arranged the chairs. And they sat and all the cameras crowded in. And I remember that there were certain top journalists who also landed up there with their mics in hand. And they said, we're going to change the roster system and this and that. And bench fixing goes on. And had they had a whip, they would have started flagellating themselves there. But obviously, viewers, nothing changes. In fact, it's exactly as it were. I can't talk about parrots there. So, the Supreme Court can use all these epithets to describe all the other parrots. But, there are quite a few who sit on the line in that same manner every morning like sparrows do. But that's a different matter. Viewers, I'm not getting into here the duplicity or the non-duplicity or the double-speak or the non-double-speak of the Supreme Court. I'm not getting into all of that. Sanju Verma, I need to ask you, this parrot, when will you make it into a condor? Let it go fly, wave its wings, and then do something that will make all of us proud. That's the question.
Rahul, first and foremost, let me say this to Mr. Ranganathan. I am not going to call him a monkey balancer. Let the audience decide. And I am a bit surprised. Mr. Ranganathan is a free speech absolutist. On a lighter note, अभी संजू वर्मा यदि हंस रही है, तो आपको क्यों दिक्कत हो रही है? Because I know on various debates, on various channels, the opposition these days, if I raise my finger, why is she raising a finger? Why is she raising a hand? Why is she smiling? Why is she laughing? Why did she speak for 2 minutes and 10 seconds? I got only 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I mean, that is the kind of paranoia. I'm sure Mr. Ranganathan is not paranoid of me. But now let me come to the moot point of the debate. The moot point of the debate is this. This is not Sanju Verma speaking. I want to take your audience to a very important judgment of April 2023. Abhishek Manu Singhvi was the one who was actually fighting on behalf of 14 opposition parties, and there were 241 petitions. It was a 3-judge bench